So today we're going to talk about a quick overview of the series, the truth of gambling, and the main thing today is going to be the X, the Y, and your why. And I think that's going to be an important piece of all of this. So they call it gambling for a reason, okay? And here's the exact dictionary call, and make sure you understand this, right? Gambling is an act of betting or wagering on some event, whether it's the roll of a die, it's a spin of a ball, it's the flip of a card, it's the football game, okay? Always the outcome, well, I guess not in sports, always the outcome is uncertain, okay? Your primary intent is to win money or something material, right? It involves risking some money on an outcome that's going to be largely based on chance. Now, sports is not chance. There's skill involved, there's strategy involved on the teams. It's chance on your end as to which team gets it right, but it's always a game of chance, right? And remember this big statement out here: casino gambling is inherently unfair, okay? And I say it in air quotes, it's an unfair wager. It is a fair wager, okay? The house always has the advantage, always. There is no advantage play. No such thing as advantage play. The house always has the edge over you. What I mean by that is every bet is designed for the house to take a little bit off the top. There's a house edge on every single bet. Now, can you overcome the house edge and be what's called a quote unquote advantage player? Perhaps. Blackjack, you can count cards and be an advantage player. They will stop that. You can have an advantage for a very short window of time. And once the casinos figure that out, you're done playing. Okay. In craps, can you have an advantage by throwing the dice? Debatable, right? There are people who will say absolutely. Some will say absolutely not. Regardless of that, if you play with an advantage by attacking a variant or a trend, if you play with an advantage by throwing the dice into a pocket, great, but you're not going to overcome the house edge. The house edge is always there. Its advantage play is a style of play, not so much a mathematical way to beat the house. And that's an important distinction for us to make. But remember this, the casino advantage, people will say it's an unfair advantage. It's not unfair. It's not unfair for my grocery store to charge more for ice cream than for eggs, which they do. They make more profit on ice cream than they do on eggs, just like the house makes more profit by percentage on the ATS versus the place bet on the six. Just the way that it works, okay? They're allowed to make money. I don't begrudge them that. I get mad at them the ways they make money sometimes, but they are perfectly within their rights to have an edge on the bets. It's what makes business happen, right? Business is based on profit percentages. That's their profit. That's their margin. So know it though. Know there's a profit margin on every bet that you make. That's an important thing. And it's one of these things where it's like an inconvenient truth, right? It is what it is, okay? So there's that. Gargoyle, gambling has a certain outcome. I love it. You are certain to lose, for sure. You are certain to lose. You got to know this going in. You got to know it going in. Over time, you will absolutely bleed it out. They make their money on the bleed. It's just the way that it is. The casino makes money on the bleed. Your advantage, if there is such a thing in gambling, is right here, right? You walking when you're up, you playing in such a way that you catch a variant and hammer the variant and get the hell out of there. Advantage play styles is where you make your money. But trust me, the casino has it figured out. They don't, we joke about they don't have the big lights for nothing. They've got it figured out. And the thing of it is, 99% of the people out there are greedy bastards, or they're dumbasses. One of the two. They're going to go in, they're going to drop $100 in a slot machine and burn it to zero, or they're on vacation and they're just don't know what they're doing, or they're drinking or whatever else they're doing, partying it up. They're feeding that beast. They're feeding that beast more than the house edge because they're gluttons, right? We can learn as a group here to play with discipline and focus and a good mindset with a goal. That's going to be our advantage. We can walk out winners more often than not. Look at my paycheck stats, right? I walk out of that garage as bad as I throw and as angry as I get. 77% of the time I win when I walk out of that garage, okay? Not a lot of people can say that because not a lot of people have what it takes to walk out when they're ahead. And that's what that show's about. But more than anything else, that's advantage play, right? That's advantage play is your brain. Your brain is part of your advantage. So know that, okay? Know that going in here, okay? And here's, I guess, more fundamental truths about this, right? Gambling, and I shouldn't even have to say this to you, okay? But there are going to be people who watch this and read the book for the first time that don't know this, right? Gambling puts your money at risk. There's no guarantees here. And I think you go out there sometimes, and I think a lot of people, if I were to ask all of you in the audience right now, what is your origin story? What is your first gambling experience like? I'll bet you, and put it in there right now. Just put win or lose. Type win or lose in the chat right now. Your first experience, was it a big win or was it a big loss? Did you go out there? Were you that person that, hey, the craps table looks fun, and what do I do? And they give you the dice and you start hucking them, and you're like, you throw a 40 roller and don't even know what you're doing, and you win $1,000, right? Or you sat down at a blackjack table for the first time with that card, and you're following the card and you walk out doubling your money. A lot of people, that's their origin story. First time out the gate, they win. Oh my God, it's great. I'm just gonna do this. This is so easy, right? You don't realize the amount of risk that you have when you go out there. So the fundamental truth of this is this statement, okay? You're risking X, hoping for Y. That first bullet point there. The fundamental truth of the game, I am putting some dollar, X, at risk, hoping that I win Y dollars, okay? Here's the reality check to that. You got to be willing to lose X, and that's important. I know people who go to the casino with X, $100. I've seen people buy in at my local, I say this all the time. I've seen people buy in for $187 out of their painter's overalls, right? Pulling out their cash payment for the day and buying in for that, hoping to double it so they can go home and pay their rent, right? Not smart, but that's a risk that you have to be willing to understand. You're gonna risk some level of money to win some level of money, and you gotta be okay with losing whatever you started with. Now, here's the thing. Why you care about the Y on the end, the $ Y. Why do you care about winning that money? I'm gonna risk $100 to win 150. Why do I care about the 50 on the end of that thing? Do I need the money? Here's the questions for you. And again, I want you to center yourselves and ask and answer this question. Do you need the money? If I'm risking $100 to win 50, do I need that $50 to make my life work? If I do, then get the fuck out of the casino. Sorry for my French. Get out of the casino. That's not smart, okay? But know that. Do you need the money? Do I have a plan for what I'm gonna do with the money that I win? In other words, am I going in there with $100 to win 50? Do I have a plan for that $50? Is that $50 going to whatever? Buy me a new Xbox game? Is it going to, in my case, buy me one of these? You don't know what this is? It's a Wacom tablet. I use this for teaching, right? $54, right? Is that my plan, right? Do I risk my $100 to win 50 to buy one of these? Sure, why not, right? Is the why gonna change my life? Am I going out there to win $1 bazillion, right? Or am I just trying to win? Do I just want the satisfaction of beating the house? For some people, that's actually the thing. I'm kind of in that. I kind of want the satisfaction of being a winner, right? I don't need the money. I love the money. I don't need the money. I like to just win, right? There's a little bit of that there, right? So you got to ask yourself the truthful questions before you walk into a casino. What are you willing to risk? What are you looking to get out of it? Why do you care about what you're going to win? And again, that first question, do you need the money? The answer to that question had better be no. Unless you're trying to gamble for a living, like we've got some friends in the audience here who've done it. Do you need the money? Are you doing this for a job? That's a whole different person to talk about. If you're doing this because you need to make the rent or you're going to try and get the electric bill paid, that's a problem. Okay? But be in touch with that answer. You got to plan for your money. Do you go there to win enough money to maybe spend extra dollars on Christmas, right? Or buy yourself a toy or whatever, right? You go into Vegas, and as you're going Vegas to risk 1,000 to win 2 to pay for your trip. That's great. That's awesome, right? Will that change my life? A little bit, right? It makes my trip for free. That's kind of cool, right? Know that. And know what X is. What is X? When I say I'm going to risk X, I'm going to risk $100 to win 50. What is X? And again, look at the questions I got on screen. What is X? It might be considered, to me at least, it's a tool to earn Y. The $100 is the tool that I use, the bankroll that I use. When you watch other people's channels and they play a strategy and say the strategy needs $5,000 to play or $1,000 to play or whatever it is, they're describing to you a tool. That bankroll, that X, that money X, that's a tool that you're going to use to earn $Y. In my regular life, I earn a paycheck from my job. The tool that I use to earn that paycheck is my time and my brain, right? I use my brain and my time. In exchange for that, I earn money. At the casino, what you have is your bankroll, and your bankroll is the tool that you use to earn Y, okay? As a means to an end, is it that tool or just an entertainment expense, right? It could be a tool to earn that money, or you could say, you know what? Light it on fire. Light it on fire. I was gonna just go with my wife to my favorite restaurant over here in Bothell, and Ian knows what I'm talking about. I was gonna go to Grazie over the weekend and like, hey, let's go to Grazie one night, right? A night at Grazie, my favorite Italian restaurant here. For the two of us to go there, it's $250, right? By the time you get your drinks and your good food and all, it's $250 out the door, right? And that's a 3-hour session. And then we come home and we can, finish drinking here, whatever else, right? That same $250 at the casino is entertainment money. So if I was going to burn it at the restaurant, I can burn it at the casino. Is it just entertainment money? Is your X factor, your money you're starting with, entertainment money? And that's okay. You can say to yourself, I'm going to risk X hoping for Y. Your Y, let me draw on screen here real quick because this is important. Your Y right here, that Y, honest to God, could be fun. It doesn't have to be money. I could risk $250 at the roulette table, right, to have fun with my friends. And so I'm going to put that money at risk if it turns into something great. Otherwise, I'm okay with it, right? I am, in that case, okay with losing X. Fine, lose the X, right? If it's for entertainment purposes, that's totally fine. If it's not for entertainment purposes and you got a reason for it, right? Whole different conversation, folks. So again, X and Y are important things to be in touch with. And I think that leads to the title of our show today, which is Why, the WHY, why. What is your why? I'm willing to risk X to win Y because there's your answer. That's why you're going to the casino. And it's not always the same answer. I think that answer actually changes from day to day. Right? We'll talk tomorrow about goals a little bit. And the answer to the question of why am I going to the casino could be different every single day. And it's okay. Some days I'm risking X to win Y so that I can buy myself a toy. Some days I'm risking X to win Y because I want to put a W in the win column. Some days I'm risking X to win Y to pay for the plane fare for my trip to Vegas. Some days I'm risking X to win Y so I can high five strangers all night long and enjoy the bachelor party. It's all good. But you better know that money that you're putting out there, that X, is always at risk. Always at risk. And the casino, as we said before, always has the edge.